Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am going to be looking at my travel kit. I'm travelling to the South Downs next week and I wanted to take a travel kit with me so that I could do some plein air painting or maybe some painting in the place that I'm staying. So what I will do is first show you my main travel kit, which I love. It's got everything I need in there and I've used it a few times, but it's a little bit bulky for if you're going on a hike, for example. You want to, when you're hiking, have as little weight as you can, really. So what I have is a smaller kit, which is really the bare basics, and I'll probably use that for when I'm hiking. And I need just a lighter kit. So firstly, I'll show you the bag for my main travel kit. This is it's just a cheap cosmetics bag for holding makeup and brushes. I think I just got this on Amazon at some point. I really don't like that it's black. I would have much preferred a cuter colour, but you know, it was meeting the requirements I needed at the time. So you can see it's got little pockets where I normally put things, and it's got quite a bit of space there as well. You can normally put a travel book in there, paint book. And then we have this mesh area, which is really good for putting your wet towel, because it dries out a bit quicker in here rather than putting it in this. I think this is all waterproof material here, so yeah, to avoid things getting mouldy, it's better to put them in this mesh area. And I quite like this bit as well for my paintbrushes, although all the paintbrushes I have for travelling are, you know, they have lids and things, so it's maybe not that necessary, but if I did want to take any of my normal watercolour brushes, they've got a bit of protection under here. When you get watercolour brushes, they normally come with a clear plastic tube that is over the brush part of the brush, and obviously that's to keep it nice for when it's coming out from the manufacturing area and being sold in shops, but I tend to keep those for when I'm travelling with them, so that I can just protect all the brushes from being worn down by things rubbing on them in, you know, carriers and things. So what I will first do is show you the brushes. So I have these watercolour brushes that are they have water in them, so they're just made of plastic and they have water in them. I've actually got a bit in there already. You should really empty these rather than keeping water in them, but I think I might have used them recently. So and they obviously have these lids that you can take off, and I'll just try and bring this closer. You can see that obviously this has become a little bit dyed. The actual brush is just plastic. I think it's just literally plastic, but I really love using these. Sometimes I just use them in my normal painting because I love the steady flow of water, and you can control how much water you want to put on the page. And obviously, you know, sometimes accidents happen, but normally that's a fault of my own rather than the brushes. But yeah, they really work, and especially if you can't carry around water with you, to have this in your back pocket is just really handy. It also makes it a lot easier to clean the brushes as well. You just rub it and squish out some water. Yeah, I've got this bigger one as well. It's a flat brush, and it says push here. I don't know if you can see. You just squeeze it out. And sometimes I twist this. I'm not sure you're supposed to do that, but there's a way to twist it and it fans out a bit more. So I could take it off and do some dry brush work. So yeah, these are my go-to, and I've got 3 different sizes of these fine-tipped brushes. Next, I have this. I don't think this is a particular brand. It's a little bit grubby actually. So this is another flat brush, and it just opens up like this. I'm not sure if this is any particular brand. It's quite hard as well. The only trouble is to put it back, you have to make sure you're not trapping any of the hairs. And this is an Escoda Ultimo, size 10. So this is good for washes. If you want to get a nice wash on a bit of paper, and it's big enough for your smaller sketchbooks. And I have 2 of these brushes which I love so much. I think they're called Tintoretto. Yeah, and I've got a size 2 and a size 6, and you can just plop that on there like that. Yeah, that comes to a nice fine point for when you want to do detail. And if I want a little bit more detail, it's so difficult to do this. Bear with me. Try not to trap all the hairs. Lovely. Okay. So if I want even finer detail, I use a size 2, which becomes a really nice fine point. So fantastic for lines and things like that, branches, that sort of thing. On there like that, okay. So yeah, just keep those in there. And next I carry this Posca pen. It's just a white Posca pen, and I use this for highlights. And normally use gouache for highlights, just to get it to pop. But Posca also works in a pinch, and it's a lot lighter than a tube of gouache. So yeah. Then I have just a Derwent graphic pencil. This is very old, and you see I've chewed the end of it. But yeah, I use this for just outlines and things like that. Then I have this ruler, and it opens up, and it's metal as well. And I have this just for if I want to make any really straight lines. I don't use it all that often because when I'm painting, I tend to paint nature rather than, architectural buildings or things like that. So I don't really get a chance to use this that much, but you never know. Maybe one day. Okay, so that is this area done. It's got quite a bit in there. I also have this old rag. It's soft. It's got a very nice soft texture. I think this once held a pillowcase or something. Maybe like it was folded up and put in here. I'm not really 100% sure what this came from. But yeah, you can see it's got a pocket area. But this is really absorbent, and it just works so well for paint, using it to dry up your paintbrush. So I normally keep this in this zip area. There we go. And next we have this section, and I normally have a big clip which I use to hold the pages of my sketchbook open, and I normally plot that in the middle. And I also have these two big paper clips, and again I just use these to hold the pages down. I'll show you the setup I have near the end of the video so you can see how I would use these. I just have some basic washi tape if I want to have nice clean edges, which I never normally have the patience to use because it's just extra time, but it's nice to have it. And I have my sharpener, and it's handy because you can hold all your shaved bits in this and then put it in the bin when you're back home. When you're out hiking, it's really important to leave no trace. You shouldn't leave anything on the ground, even if it's fruit, orange peel, things like that. Sometimes they can just take a long time to decompose, especially orange peel, and it's not natural to the environment in England, so it's just out of place in that environment. So yeah, I always make sure to not leave anything behind, not leave any rubbish. Then I have this cute cat. This is supposed to be for your knitting utensils. Probably had some pins at some point. It's got all these balls of yarn around a cat. but I use this to hold my rubbers. So I've got this just a mono. It's quite a good eraser actually, or rubber, wherever you're from. And I've got this kneadable eraser, which is just a tad dirty, but again that's really good for getting rid of some of the harsher lines if you're about to wash over with watercolour. So put those in there. I also have this water dish, and it's got a clip at the top there which you can put onto your sketchbook rather. It's okay. I'm not a biggest fan of it. I think it's not sealed great, so it does leak a little. Not enough for me to worry too much, but it's not ideal. And it just doesn't hold enough water for me, to be honest with you. I find it quite frustrating. But if I use them with these wood-filled brushes, they're okay. It's not too bad. But I think if you were doing very small art, maybe that would be okay. But it's quite, I would say it's not that light, to be honest with you. But I like it because it does clip to your book, so you can just hold everything in one hand, which is quite handy. And I normally just have that up here. I also I normally carry around a bit of kitchen paper, so if I'm doing clouds and things like that, it's quite a neat technique to use. And I just put this in this little pocket here to keep it dry and away from everything else. And I also have this. I've never used this. It's some sort of compass thing, something to do with angles and perception. I'll bring it closer. Okay, so I also have two main palettes that I use when travelling. So this is the first. This is my super granulating paints from Sminker, and these are really good for landscapes. The only issue I have with this is the binding agent which is used in the paints is quite sticky. It's a bit jellyish, and when you wet it, it kind of retains that stickiness and it rises to the top. So as you can see, some of this is spilled over into other paints where it just needs so long to dry, and I don't have the patience. So I tend to just find it leaks absolutely everywhere, which is a bit of a pain, but I still like it. So I have that one, and this is a palette with Rosa Gallery paints, and I just picked some primary colours, got some cools and warms, and a pink there for some flowers if I need it. Burnt sienna. I'll bring this a bit closer so you can see the colours that I've got there. I have magenta rose, cadmium red medium, golden yellow, cadmium yellow, ultramarine, cerulean blue, emerald green, this is just green, Payne's grey, sepia, burnt sienna and raw sienna. And another one of these kitchen rolls. I must have gone out with this at some point. So this is what they look like, and I stuck these down with some magnets there, and that works really well. Okay, so I'll put these back. Might be a little overzealous there. Let's take up one. Oh my goodness. I think that might have to go. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay. Lastly, I have this bit of cardboard that I wrapped in pink sparkly vinyl. It's not the best. It doesn't stick at the edges, but it really does a good job. And I will show you how this all fits together in just a moment. Hi again, so this is the book that I will be taking with me to the South Downs. I've used this only a little bit. This is just me trying something. This is a painting that I made in Cornwall when I was down there. So this is what I will be taking with me, and I'll just show you how this works. So you slide this in on either side of the page, like that. And then I'll pin this in. You can't see. Like this. So it's steady on the page. I normally have this somewhere like this, and I just clip this on to keep that in place. It's quite handy if it's windy, and I'll do that in a second. I then use this to clip some of the pages here. So if I lift this up, I grab a bit of the page behind this pink thing, and in front front, and I just pin them together like that. So then that's very secure, that's not going anywhere. And this I will put on in a minute. I have two, so here, for example, I've got these grippy things, like Velcro I guess, but not really. I have one on here as well. And what I do is I just line this up. I think it's lined up that way. There we go, and that holds it. And then I can open that up, and that works well there. And then that there, and then this I could just, I don't know, put anywhere, just under here maybe. There we go. And then that's quite secure, it's not going anywhere. And I can just plop this on here. But I normally have it somewhere up here, if at all, to be honest with you. So I can use it there. Like that. And that's how that works. I also have another palette. So this is my light kit, and in this I have a very small book that I made out of watercolour paper and just binded it there and stuck some paper over the top. And I have two clips as well. So again, the clips are just for holding this bit of paper open. And again, I use this with this pink thing. Yeah, this was an absolute mess. I just did a very, very, very long walk, and I sat down and just thought, oh, I'm just going to try and draw this thing. And just, my head was not in it at all. It just turned out such a mess. And then this is the tiny palette I have, and again these are just stuck on with some magnets. And yeah, it's a limited palette, so I just have red, yellow, blue, and a purple, and just like a probably burnt sienna, and a little tiny swatch card. Yeah, quite a lot of colours there you can make. So this is for when I am travelling light, and again, because this is magnetic, I can just plop this on here and it holds really well. There we go. I'll put these back. I also normally put this in here when I'm travelling with it. And this also fits into my backpack for when I'm hiking. I do usually just keep like a bar of granola or some nuts in here for when I'm hiking, but it also fits this very nicely here. So yeah, that's quite handy. Works quite well. So I also have this. This used to be my previous travel book. These are both Etcher, 100% watercolor, cotton watercolor paper. It's probably one of the best papers I've ever used, actually. I really enjoy working on this. So this is quite old. I'll go through it with you at some point, but I have a few pages left, and I might take this, but I think I'll probably just use the smaller book in the small travel kit, the lighter pack. So I will just finish putting the things in here. Let me set this up first. Okay. So this normally fits very nicely in there. So good when things fit like that. This is far too big. Far too big. So I will put these together in my luggage. The book with the pink thing. And instead I can plop that in there as well. And that fits really nicely. So, there we go. That's my travel kit. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next time. Bye.